There's a line from the movie The Princess Bride that I am tempted to quote at every wedding. In the movie, there is a bishop in all of his finery officiating at a wedding with all of its solemnity and glory until he opens his mouth and says, "Marriage is what brings us together." And then he goes on to describe wedded bliss by saying, "Love, true love, will follow you forever and ever." Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Love, true love, or love, true love. Now, if you've seen The Princess Bride, and if you haven't, that's inconceivable, because the movie's hilarious. But if you've seen The Princess Bride, you know that true love is a feeling so deep and wondrous that it protects people from pirates and poison and rodents of unusual size. It enables them to climb cliffs and beat giants and come back from the dead. Well, not if you're all dead, but if you're mostly dead. And then in the end, it wins. True love inspires the most pure and passionate kiss since the invention of the kiss, even if you hate stories with kissing. Love, true love, will follow you forever. But does it? We've all been passionate about something or someone in our past, something or someone that grabbed our hearts, grabbed our minds, and claimed huge chunks of our time and our energy and our attention and our stuff. And at the time, we very well may have described that passion as true love. But here's the test. Years later, are we as passionate now as we were then? You see, love, especially true love, is not a feeling. No matter how deep and wondrous it feels at the moment, or for a month, or a year, or a couple of years. Studies show that the feelings of being in love with someone or anything last for an average of 2 to 3 years. And after that, the chemicals and the hormones that produce those feelings of TWOO WUV taper off, which is why we all know lots of folks who kind of cycle through phases and relationships that seem wonderful for a couple of years, but then cool off until they find their next great cause or their next Prince Charming or Princess Bride. That's because love, true love, is not a feeling. Now, it includes feelings, but for love to be true love and for it to last, it has to be so much more than just a feeling. And by love, I'm not talking only about romantic love. I mean any kind of love for anyone. Parents, siblings, children, friends, enemies, each other, neighbors, a cause, our country, as well as lovers and spouses. And though there's a wide range of ways to express the different kinds of love that we have for that wide range of people, there's a common element in every level of love that marks the difference between love, true love, and love, real love. And we heard that element today in St. John's letter to his friends. He writes, "This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us." Whoa, does that mean for something to be true love that we have to die like Jesus did? Probably not. Though in certain very rare circumstances we might. But Jesus' laying down his life for us was not only his dying, it was also everything he did before he died. He gave up his privilege and place in heaven to come to earth to be with us. He gave up being almighty, all-knowing, and everywhere all the time to be one of us, to understand us, to be our friend. He put up with all of our selfishness and mistreatment and resistance to a relationship with him. And when he was rejected and scorned and nailed to a cross, he prayed for his enemies, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." And then he himself forgave them as well. In the end, yes, Jesus laying down his life for us meant he died, but even that wasn't the end. He rose again, and he continues to lay down his life for us now as he prays for us and is preparing a place for us and each other and all the saints from all time to be with him forever. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. Love, true love, means laying down our lives for what or whom we love. And although laying down our lives probably doesn't mean dying like Jesus did, it certainly means living like Jesus did. That's precisely what we promise when we say yes to Jesus. Whether we do that in baptism or confirmation, or when I invite us to say, yes, Jesus, you died for me, I'll live for you. Living for Jesus means laying down our life for him, just like he laid his life down for us. Okay, how do we do that? Well, Jesus gives us a hint today. He says, I am the good shepherd, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Living for Jesus is not only laying down our lives for him, it's also laying down our lives for the sheep. Well, who are they? Well, that would be us, of course. Didn't we just say in the psalm, the Lord is my shepherd? That would make us his sheep. We're the folks he lays down his life for. We get to lay down our lives for each other. And that's not too hard. I mean, look around at this room. We're all lovable folks, aren't we? But Jesus didn't stop with only us. He continued, I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them in also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. Wait a minute. Other sheep? Like whom? Well, that would be everyone who has ever listened to his voice, responded to his love, accepted his invitation, and said yes to Jesus. Everyone who's ever done that, or whoever will. Jesus' other sheep are not only we in this room, not only folks that we love or even folks we like. They're certainly not only the folks who are just like us, because Jesus didn't lay his life down only for us in the Messiah family or the Episcopal Church or even only for Christians. Jesus laid his life down for everyone, everywhere. For God so loved the world, Jew and Gentile, old and young, slave and free, male and female, rich and poor, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that all who believe in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. So who are those other sheep not of his sheep pen? Well, we don't know. But they could be anyone in the world. They could be everyone in the world. Which means we, who are Jesus' sheep already, get to treat everyone else as though they were also his sheep already, whether or not they act like it currently. That's why right after John writes, this is how we know what love is, Jesus Christ laid down his life for his friend, he follows it up with, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. And who are our brothers and sisters? Well, certainly everybody else in this room. That's why we offer so many different groups and events and social things around here, so that we can lay down our lives for each other. Diving Deeper and Shine Kids Club and Activate Youth Group on Sunday afternoons, and the Wednesday morning communion and Bible study, and the family movie that we had last night, and the Pentecost picnic that's coming up in a month. That's why I urge you to hang out in the hallway with each other after the service and go to lunch or go for dessert to give us chances to lay down our lives for each other. And for those of you who are watching us online, if you are still concerned about your health, I respect your decision at home and continue isolating. But if you're already going out to theme parks and restaurants or hanging out with your other friends and watching us online because it's easier than getting yourself here, I urge you to come back to church in person and lay down your life for your Messiah family so we can lay down our lives for you. You see, we're not complete without you, and you're not complete without us. Laying down our lives for our brothers and sisters means doing that with each other here in the Messiah family, and also with those who are not of this sheep pen, those folks who are not yet here. But what if I don't know them? Or what if I know them and don't like them? How do I make myself feel love for people I don't know or people I don't like? Well, remember that love's not a feeling. It's action. It's laying down our life for people like Jesus did by doing what Jesus did. It means instead of waiting for them to come to us, we give up some of our privilege and our place and our comfort to go be with people who are not like us. It means giving up expecting everybody else to think like me and be like me, and listening to people who may be different from me, a different size or shape or color or condition or culture, and seeking to understand them and be their friend across our differences and in the various sheep pens. And as we do that and spend time with folks who are not like me, we get to put up with some human selfishness and some degree of mistreatment. And it means praying for people who hurt us. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And then forgiving them ourselves. Laying down our lives for our brothers and sisters means giving ourselves to people emotionally and relationally. It may also mean giving ourselves to them materially. St. John continues, if anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on him, how can the love of God be in that person? If we see someone in need, and we have the time, the energy, or the stuff that can address that need, God calls us to share what we have plenty of with those who don't have enough. Now, if we don't have enough to share, there's no disgrace in not sharing. But if we do have enough, let's be generous. As generous with other people as God has been with us. Now, in 2 Sundays, we have a marvelous opportunity to lay down our lives and show the love of God by sharing our material possessions with a child in need. The compassion journey will be in our narthex hallway Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you'll get to see what Compassion International does to lift children out of poverty. And at the end of that, there'll be a chance to sponsor a child and change the world with Jesus. The details are in your bulletin and in the messenger. John concludes, dear children, let us not love only with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. Let's not just say we love people. Let's do it. Let's not just talk about laying down our life for folks. Let's do it. Because that's what changes WUV, TWOO WUV, into love, real love.